Hey, welcome to worshiptutorials.com. My name is Brian. In this video, we're going to learn how to play the song We Praise You on electric guitar. Now, there are a few versions of this song out there. There's one by Matt Redman because he was a co-writer. There's one by Bethel because some guys from Bethel were also co-writers on this song. Those are the two main versions that exist at this point, the arrangements. I'm going to teach you the Bethel version because the guitar parts in it are pretty cool and a little different than a lot of songs. The Redman version has really cool guitar parts as well. They're very stereotypically praise and worship kind of guitar parts. If you want me to teach how to play the Matt Redman version, let me know below because it's also really cool. But this is going to be the Bethel version, which is a little different. Okay, so the format for these electric guitar tutorial videos will be like this. I'll break down each part individually. I'll teach how to play it, I'll demonstrate it, and then I'll talk about how to get the sound. For this video in general, I'm using this MJT thin line Telecaster. These are Porter vintage pickups, Telecaster pickups. It really doesn't matter what guitar you use. You can do this with pretty much anything. For amplification, I'm using the Helix patch, which is available at Worship Tutorials for this song. It doesn't matter, again, what you use. Just set your amp so that it's like on the edge of breakup when you dig in on the bridge pickup. And I'll talk about how you get the different sounds in the different parts of the song in a bit. We're going to do this in the key of A. Interesting point, if you go like to multitracks.com, it says that it's at 85.5 BPM. It's actually at 85.0 BPM, something to know. Key of A, it's the original album key for the Bethel single release. All right, let's talk about the intro. So if you just form this A bar chord, most of what you're going to play comes out of that. Now, it goes like this. I'm going to play it without any amplification. You'll hear just the strings. So for the intro, you're going to base it around this A bar chord right here. So bar on the 5th fret with your index finger and build an E right behind it. That's an A major. Now, the first 4 notes of the riff in the intro are just that A on the low E string, 5th fret. So you can either play it down here, or you can just play the open A. I prefer to play the E string for this reason. The next note you're going to hit is the 7th fret of the G string down to the 6th fret, right? So it's... Now, if you notice what happened, when I went to the G string, you don't hear the low E ring anymore, or the A ring anymore. If you play the open A string, you'll hear that drone. You don't want that, because this riff, you need to hear these notes individually. You don't want like those two. Okay, but if you play, that low E stops ringing. So that's why I like to play it there. So it's 16th notes, 4 hits on the low E string, 5th fret, 1 E and a 2, 2 E, 1 E and a 2 E, 1 E and a 2 E and a... Okay, that's the first half of it. So, and then you hop up to the, that would be the G string, 7th fret to 6th fret. And again, it's just the top of this A chord. You're just suspending it. The next set of notes is you hop down to the A string, 2nd fret, and you hit it 4 times. And then you slide up, and I like to slide using my middle finger, and then you slide up to the D string, 9th fret. Okay, if you wanted to, you could go. Okay, you could play that. That would be the G string, 4th fret. But if you watch the video where David Hislop is playing these parts, I'm pretty sure David wrote these parts. David, if you watch this video, awesome job, man. These parts are great. Okay, you'll see him slide into this, and you kind of hear that in the part. You got to play it just right. It sounds really cool if you do it right, okay? So it's 1 E and a 2 E and a... Okay, that sort of bridges the gap to the next chord, basically, in the intro. And it's basically the same as the first part where you went on the low E string, but now you're on the A string, 5th fret, and then you do the same thing. A string, 5th fret, And then you end the phrase up here just, that's 8. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Okay, that's it. Put it all together, slowly, goes like this. Okay, that's the intro lick. You do it a couple times in the intro. You do it in turnarounds, you do it after choruses, that kind of thing. For tone on this, I'm using a lot of drive. I'm using a Timmy. Let me make sure what I got. Timmy and a 808. It really doesn't matter what you use. You need like a pretty big overdrive sound. I think I've just got a quarter note delay, and I've got like an ambient reverb, but it sits underneath the mix a little bit. So you don't want like this huge wash for this part, but you do want some ambience. If you listen to it, I like to go to multitracks.com and do the rehearsal mix so I can hear the individual parts. That's what I hear on this song. It sounds like this. Okay, moving on to the verse. There are really two parts, and actually if you listen to, again, rehearsal mix, you'll see there are two players. And so I'm kind of combining these two parts into one. I have two different sounds for this, but there's really not much of a difference. So the first part is really just a, that's it. It's like a drone. And that's on the low E string, fifth fret. And in the first verse, this doesn't come in until halfway through the verse, by the way. And then when the chord change happens, you go to the A string, 5th fret. And then in the second half of the verse, there's a different part that comes in, different player, but it's pretty similar. It goes like this. Okay, so to play that part, again, you're just forming this A chord and you're doing this suspension. Okay, so to form that, I like to bar, again, on the 5th fret with my index finger. You form that E underneath it. Really, to play this part, though, you only need to I like to put my ring finger on it's the D string, 7th fret, my middle finger on the G string, 6th fret, and then my pinky can do that suspension on the G string, 7th to 6th. Okay, and so you go low E on the 5th fret, that's an A, and then you hit the 2 octaves up on the high E string, so you got to bar this, and then you just do the 7 to 6 on the G string. So you do it that many times through, and then if you want to kind of hide underneath that chord change, you can hit that note right there. That would be the D string, where your ring finger is sitting, 7th fret, and then you hit the A string, 5th fret, on the last time. That's it. Okay, and so again, the first part is just simply this. And then I like to switch to the okay, you get the idea. A little sloppy there. Tone-wise, all I have on is a low gain overdrive for this, so I'm using the King of Tone. I've got a dotted 8th note delay and a little bit less reverb. It's kind of a clean tone. And so the first part of it sounds like this. And then when you hit the B section, you turn on a chorus pedal or chorus effect, and it sounds like this. And then you're into the chorus. Okay, the chorus part, really you can do a rhythm part that just follows the basic chords of the song. Or if you want to play like the part that you hear sticking out on the album, it's really just octaves. And when I think of octaves, like if I want to play an A octave, I think of the low E string and the D string, 2 frets apart. You can do octaves sort of higher on, you know, a higher pitched octave. And that, to do that, if you want to play that same A chord or that same A octave, here's your root. So if you're going to form an A chord up here using a, you think of it as a D shape, you'd put your, you know, the root of it would be here on the 10th fret on the B string. So to do this part, I put my pinky right there, and then I put my index finger on the D string, so you're 2 strings apart, but this time you're 3 frets apart. So index finger on the D string, 7th fret, that's an A. These are all A's, so it starts on an A. And then I put my pinky on the B string, 10th fret. That forms an A octave. And then I use my other fingers. I use this finger to mute these 2 strings. This is kind of an art, it takes a little practice. And then I use sort of the flesh of my index finger to mute these 2 strings. All right, so I can strum hard and I'm only hitting, you're only hearing these 2 strings ring out. Okay, and then you just walk up the octave. So your pinky starts on the 10th fret. Okay, so that walks up from, this is where your pinky is, 10th fret on the B string. So 14, 15, 17, okay? Now these octaves are harder than the lower ones because you're using different fingers and they're further apart. So it's harder to move them fast, so just take some practice. And then down to 14 back, or down to 15 back up to 17. Fear cannot survive, and then you walk back down. So 17, 15, 14, 12, 10. That's the first half of the chorus. The second half of the chorus is almost exactly the same. And then it goes down to 15, up to 19. And then the last of it, the walk down, is the same. You go to 17, 15, 14, 12, 10. And then you're back into the riff. Okay, that's the chorus. For tone on this part, really it's just a lot of overdrive. Again, I'm using sort of an 808 with a Timmy together. Really doesn't matter what you use, you just want like a big gain sound. And then I'm using a lot of reverb because you're playing these octaves, you're not playing a lot of strings at the same time, but you want like this huge wash of sound. So a big ambient reverb will get you that, and I'm using a dotted 8th delay. Yes, dotted 8th delay. Sounds like this. So the chorus hits. And then you go into whatever the next section of the song is. Okay, moving on. We're almost to the end here. There is a bridge. So the first half of the bridge is just an A. And if you listen to the guitar part, it just does this. Pretty simple. You don't really do anything except that, 16th notes. When the second part of the bridge comes in, you hear those, it's like hits. And again, you're really forming this A bar chord. You're only using part of it. So the notes that I hit, that what I kind of hear on this are the low E on the 5th fret, the D on the 7th fret, and the G on the 6th fret, which really is just, it's notes out of this you know, you could think of it almost as a power chord. So when you hear the part, this is what living looks like, it goes like this. And then you drone underneath it on this low E string. And then the next chord you just play would be like a D. So you're just playing the A string on the 5th fret and then the D and the G on the 7th fret. Okay, and then you do octaves, but down here. So this is what living looks like. Then you move up, so that would be the 5th fret of the low E, the 7th fret of the D. Move up 2 frets, so now you're on 7 and 9. Move down to the 2nd and the 4th. Move up to the 10th and 11th, or 10th and 12th. Okay? Again, you're gonna play, I'll just play it kind of slow, how when you hit the bridge without all the effects, without anything. Sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. Chord change. Octaves. Up. Down. Up. Higher. And then you're into the chorus. Okay, for this part, or for the first section of the bridge, I have just a little bit of drive on, a little bit of reverb, and a, what is that? A quarter note delay. So you don't want a whole lot of effects. It's really just this. Right, then the music stops, and then when you come back into it, when you hit those hits and the walk thing with the octaves, sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. And then you saw that it went into the chorus there. Okay, so tone for the big part, I just turned on more drive, or a bigger drive. I'm using the 808 Tube Screamer there. And for this one, I have like a dual stereo delay. So if you listen to the part, it's you can kind of hear it bouncing around. So I have a dual stereo delay there, 8th and dotted 8th note for that, and then sort of a big reverb underneath it. All right, so then you go into the chorus, which again is just that octave thing. After it plays the chorus through a few times, then you end the song with the intro riff, and that's it. And then you can end on a big A chord if you want to do that to end it big. All right, on the album version, they go back into a bunch of stuff, but you just play those same parts over and over, depending on where you go in the song, or you can play some more ambient stuff if you want to do that underneath parts. It really just depends on what you want to do with the song in that moment. Links below to get this patch for Helix. We'll have it for Axe FX 3. We'll have it for other platforms as well as they become available. If you want to see how I played this song as just a single guitar player, you can see that at that page linked below as well. All the resources that we have for this song teach you how to play it on acoustic guitar as well. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're going to do more of these electric guitar tutorial types of videos to teach you how to play these lead parts. That's more and more churches, I believe, are moving from like an acoustic sort of led sound to more of a modern praise and worship, electric guitar, more driven sound. We are going to do more of these in the future because I think it's important for the church to have resources like this available. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.